Hello and welcome back to the Pamphlet War Room, Muneeb. Good to see you back after a little bit of break.
Good evening, and I'm really sorry for being late. I'm extremely sorry, and I really apologize for this delay. It was beyond
Yes,
my
we
control.
apologize to the audience for this, and
Yes.
thank you so much for joining. And let us, before losing any time, let us start with ki kya ho let us start with the high points of SEO that just concluded. The very talked about Shanghai Cooperation move. वो उसकी बात करते पहले.
Perfect. So basically, what we saw is the big three getting together: Russia, China, and India. Look, for SEO to be successful, I think there is a lot of role which Russia has played, especially Kremlin has played into normalizing relations between India and China. Because the kind of relationship building we saw this time at SEO, it would not have been possible had there been a lot of ice break which would have happened between India and China, and we saw them happening from last year when we started, talking about resolution of border issues, and we had bilaterals and things were working down. We were coming back onto our standoff positions, so there was a lot of background to it. But I think what also has triggered a very successful SEO is Donald Trump's antics and the way Americans have literally behaved, uh, the way with on they've literally gambled on the India-US relationships, and they've gambled it to an extent where a lot has been lost. Actually, it's going to be very difficult to build back that kind of trust with America the way they have gone about it. So I think SEO has been very successful in that sense. Number two, every time there was an SEO, India was seen as a thorn by the Chinese because India would stall a lot of things in the SEO. But this time, China is more than willing to, I would say, walk the talk, especially on Pahalgam terror attack. We saw a statement coming out. They didn't name Pakistan, but for China and for other countries to come out and denounce terrorism, I think that was a good start. That's a good confidence building measure as well. Obviously, the bilateral between President Putin and Prime Minister Modi was also the highlight because it was quite unprecedented. They had a good chat in the car for about 45 minutes, and another 50 minutes of bilateral which happened at the venue, which is about 2 hours of good, I would say, one-on-one dialogue which happened between India and Russia. So I think there's a lot of positives to take away from this SEO. The most important one is India reaffirming its stand that it's not going to get succumb to the bullying the Americans have done. I think that is the highlight of this. And second is, the India, China, and Russia. Now they see a lot of collaboration between each other. They see a lot of working ground between each other, and they're coming together to work on common interests and common areas. And I think that in itself is quite significant for for this SEO to basically conclude itself successful. I think we lost you there, Nirwa, but that's fine.
Yeah, you lost me for a couple of minutes. My internet connection
That,
was
that,
little
that,
off, but
that's fine. That's
right.
fine.
Right. I think I'm not sure if that was spoken because I couldn't hear, but I want to talk about the declaration that was signed between the member nations, where they categorically, condemned the Pahalgam terror attack. So, because Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif was also there, I want your views on how does this look for Pakistan as well.
It doesn't look augur well for Pakistan at all. Look, couple of things happened there. One, we saw Shahbaz Sharif being there, but then we saw Asim Munir flying separately on Monday and trying to meet the Chinese president and other Chinese high officials. On the sidelines, also he was trying to meet President Putin. Though President Putin did meet Shahbaz Sharif, but I think he completely ignored Asim Munir. So that tells you the power, division within Pakistan, who wants to try to be the boss and who wants to say that I'm the real boss and I'm the shadow boss. That is what happened. Also, if you look at the way Pakistan-China relations have gone in this time, the Chinese are not funding the CPEC. What Shahbaz Sharif essentially asked China to do, he wanted to build a narrative saying that in Pakistan-China relations are bedrock and CPIC is the bedrock of those relationships. But China has categorically, there was a very embarrassing video which came out where a Chinese official said that we have paid you 3 years ago, and Shahbaz Sharif was clueless. He had no idea what the money is for, the study has been done or not, and he literally was quite humiliated and was clueless about it. He had to say sorry to the official. Also now, the train link between Balochistan Karachi, the rail link, which was originally a CPEC plan, China has withdrawn and said that they don't have the money to give it. So it's ABD, which is Asian Development Bank, ADB, which is now coming in and substituting that kind of funds from CPEC to Pakistan to does its infrastructure. So that tells you that things between China and Pakistan are not really well, because Chinese have not taken the way Donald Trump has been entertained by the Pakistanis. The Pakistanis, the way they are cozying up, especially in Balochistan and on the Rikotig and Sandig, where Americans are very interested in heavily investing into those copper mines. I think that is something which the red line for Chinese is, and Chinese are not taking it very well. So the Pakistan relationship has been the Pakistan relationship has been a hot cold relationship depending on Chinese vested interest. But this time, I think they are on a bit of a colder side than being on the hotter side. So there is a bit of a cold shoulder which the Pakistanis have got this time. Saying that, it doesn't mean that Pakistan-China relations are absolutely going to go down the drain, and the two countries are going to have very difficult relationship. That's not going to be the case. For China, Pakistan is a very important ally, and China would like to maintain that kind of relationship, albeit they will take a few steps down the ladder and like to view it from somewhere in the middle ground rather than being on the higher ground or giving a priority to Pakistan. So the priority to Pakistan at the moment has really been, you can say, diminished to some extent. And and that also tells you, because the Indian relationship is closing up with China. I don't think the Chinese were very overly keen of annoying India to an extent where they wanted to stick to Pakistan as a very solid ally, and then it's very difficult to work on the common areas which India and China are looking for. So that's how I see between Pakistan and China the things they were going about.
Right. Which brings me to again, Donald Trump tweeted last evening, yesterday afternoon, how we lost that America lost Russia and India to China, the deepest, darkest China, and he wished them luck, right? So that was one aspect. Obviously, he became a butt of all jokes. A lot of people made fun of him. There were memes. Uh, but the two things here, because after at the MEA presser that happened yesterday, one of the journalists asked the MEA spokesperson, "Ki, will will India wish Donald Trump a long and disastrous future with Pakistan?" Because obviously it seems like America chose uh, Pakistan over India when it started supporting Pakistan in this the war. And so that is one thing. Do you think that that has happened? Second, today morning, PM Modi did after Trump, he flipped on his own statement. He denied, saying that no, we have not lost India, and then he said India is a good friend, and so obviously PM Modi reciprocated. He said that India reciprocates what the sentiments the US has. So how do you see that? First, the has the America gained Pakistan the terror exporter of the world over India, and how do you see PM Modi's tweet, so to say, to Trump?
Look, I think this is typical Trump antics. He has done that with everybody. With China, he was trying to do the same, right? He goes with a lot of filibuster, makes a lot of noise, he makes a lot of allegations, and then he backs off. He blinks. This is not the first time Donald Trump has tried to blink. Last night, he wished India good luck for having a relation with China and Russia. But in the morning, he had completely flipped over and he was like, no, we still are very important allies, and Modi ji is a very good friend of ours. So that tells you that how desperate the Americans were uh, for, and the classic mistake they did was that they thought that they can arm twist India into agreeing to what Donald Trump really wanted to. Little realizing that, Indians are known for their resilience, and one thing that doesn't work on India is blackmail. Right. So I think he has learned it the hard way, and he has realized the potential of loss if China, India, and Russia get together. the opportunities they can create. And I think the reality has really stuck him in the morning when he came down and he offered an olive branch and made that statement saying that PM Modi is a good friend and we have no relationship lost. But look, as diplomacy goes, PM Modi is a very sharp diplomat, and he's not going to seize. Neither he wastes his time into negative things. He is not somebody who would take jibes on someone, but he's always there to reciprocate positively on any positive overture which has been made towards India for the benefit of India. So I think he responded like a statesman today, saying that India-US relationship is important and we should be looking at it. But saying that, look, what Donald Trump says and what Donald Trump does are entirely two different things. Now, with going into bed with Pakistan, more than Pakistan, I think it is his own family which is being benefited out of the crypto deal. They are making about $5 billion, right? And so is a few families in Pakistan. So neither Americans nor the Pakistanis as a nation are gaining something out of this relationship of Donald Trump and Asim Munir and company. Saying that, what I see is that the Trump has offered India a chance to come back on a dialogue table, and I think he's ready to make concessions. We will see and wait how things turn up and what Donald Trump is going to do next, because you really don't know. He has his odd even days, what Kejriwal used to have in Delhi. Trump has his own odd even days, and I think he's going through his even day today. Is it going to be an even day for the rest of the week, or is he going to have another odd one and he's going to let loose his attack dogs like Navarro? Because till the time Trump's advisors don't keep their mouth shut and they don't talk responsibly, I don't see a lot of scope of where relationships can go better. So for Trump to get back on a working relationship with India, I think it's very imperative for him to make sure that his advisors follow and toe his line and they don't go out of line and make statements like Navarro has done, or JD, not more than JD Vance, but Navarro is somebody who has made really some horrible statements. And if those statements continue from America, from Trump's team, then it's going to be very difficult to walk the talk with the Americans. But knowing Trump and the way Trump is, I mean, it's given he was going to blink, he didn't have an option. He realized he has to blink. He blinked, and now it's back on the table. So let's see who's going to get advantage out of this blinking of Donald Trump.
Right. आपको लगता है कि see when we talk of India and the recent SEO that concluded, you think India can act as a bridge, with Russia and China and the rest of the world while still maintaining its own independent voice?
No, I think absolutely there are two things happening here, Nirwa. One is that India can act as a bridge between Russia and China, but at the same time, Russia is trying to act as a bridge between India and China, as I mentioned in the start as well, right? The way President Putin has, you can see from his body language and from the way he approached the whole SEO, you can tell that he had a lot of role to play in bringing India and China together. And obviously, China and Russia also have a lot of issues between them, and there is a role India certainly has to play, especially bringing all the three together and keeping all the three together to work through challenges what they have among themselves. They're not easy challenges, honestly, Nirwa. When it comes to India, China, and China-Russia relationship, there are some really difficult paths to tread. But given the way the magnanimity of Prime Minister Modi and his resolve to have working relationships and to work for the betterment of the country, I wouldn't be surprised if I see that India would be taking somewhat a middle role between India, Russia, China, and would be, calming the nerves both on the Russian side, on the Chinese side as well, on one end, while trying to calm the nerves between India and Russia, China itself. So I see India, yes, definitely having a lead role into India, Russia, and China, trioca. There is a scope, and I think India will be looking at taking forward that scope as well. Yeah.
And before I go further, I want to ask our audience that will be taking the live questions. Is my voice not clear?
Your voice is cracking a bit for some reason, but that's okay. I can still hear you, albeit a bit delayed.
Okay. So where does Again, I got lost. Where does Pakistan stand now in terms of terrorism? Because this was quite a big statement to condemn the Pahalgam terror attack. I ask this because Shehbaz Sharif, all the time they have maintained that there was no Pakistan involvement, which obviously, and they also maintained how in the Operation Sindoor they did not lose any of that. Nothing happened. How does this now fit into the new narrative?
Look, the way Pakistan is, you don't expect Pakistan to change or become a responsible nation where they will take responsibility for their actions. They're always going to live in denial. That's what they did as well. This time as well, when they denied, anything happened in Operation Sindoor or they didn't do Pahalgam. But the reality is for the world to see. Uh, the reality is out there for the world to see. But also, if you look at the way Pakistan went about, blaming India on Balochistan, especially the Jafar Express attack, Pakistan was trying to counter India and say that India is also uh, aiding and abetting terror in Pakistan. So they were trying to build a case saying that Pakistan is not alone in perpetrating terror. Uh, India itself is responsible for perpetrating terror within Pakistan. Now, these are the statements Pakistan has always made, but they don't have any evidence, and they have never been backed by any evidence. On the contrary, the evidence never points to India. It points to within Pakistan, the organizations within Pakistan, and to some extent to Afghanistan, but never to India. But given that, I don't expect Pakistan to change, Nirwa. I don't expect that just because SEO made a statement, Pakistan is going to go on the back foot. Pakistan thrives on terrorism. Pakistan lives on terrorism. So to expect Pakistan to back off from terrorism, I think will be a grave mistake. It'll be a miscalculation. I think they will continue the way they have been continuing since decades now, and I don't see any change from the Pakistani side, uh, given how India is into the SEO. On the contrary, the Pakistanis would be worried, and they would not like India to have very good relationship with China. It doesn't work well for the Pakistanis, so they will be looking at ways to derail that relationship. And terror is one where Pakistan always has used terror as a ploy to derail relationships in the neighborhood and make things unstable. So you really will have to watch out for Pakistan in the next coming months, because they would be looking at ways to derail India-China relationship stabilizing back again. They really would be investing into that.
Right, but where do you see Pakistan leadership going from here when it comes to SEO? What's happened? Do you think because the Indus and Pakistan they act as per the instructions of the UN, and the political leadership is quite afraid of what to expect from China in the coming days. How do you see that going, Shehbaz Sharif and the whole plan?
See, Pakistan leadership going nowhere. Pakistan leadership is going from one country to another begging for funds. That's what they have been doing. Honestly, Pakistan leadership doesn't really have the credibility, and I don't see them going anywhere from where they are now. Anyway, you have two leaders who are trying to portray that they are the ones who are in charge of Pakistan. You have Shahbaz Sharif on one end, and then you have the Field Marshal Asim Munir on the other end. So within Pakistan, also there are push and pulls within the leadership, and I don't see Pakistan stabilizing politically, or any leader able to galvanize support for Pakistan to an extent where Pakistan would have some respectability among the countries of being a sovereign nation or even near a sovereign nation. Pakistan, by and large, is viewed as a client state and as a state which is always looking for aid and grants. And I don't think that is going to change, irrespective of who the leadership in Pakistan is going to be. The political crisis in Pakistan is continuing. I mean, within Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif has no locus standi. He really doesn't command any respect of common people. And the military is the military, and Asim Munir is somebody also who really is not very liked by the people. So, when it comes to within Pakistan, the political dynamics in Pakistan in itself, they have lost a lot of credibility among the common Pakistanis, and that is how it is. So I don't really see Pakistani leadership making any headway somewhere. I think they are going to continue the way they are continuing, giving self aggrandization and self importance to them. Apart from them, I don't think anybody is going to take them seriously. Not within Pakistan, not outside Pakistan.
Right, we have one audience question. ताऊ रामफल पूछना चाहते हैं कि पहले तो मरिकापुर के सरपंच ठुकरा के मेरा प्यार मेरे इंतकाम देखेगी मोड में दिखे। ट्रम्प की बात हो रही है, सो अब लग रहा है कि उनको समझ आ गया है कि डराने धमकाने वाले काम नहीं चलेंगे। ऐसी हरकतों में हँसियाँ वापस नहीं आएगी और उल्टा मेरा सो बेसिकली उनका ये कहना है कि क्या अब हम जनरली भी फ्रेंड्स मोड में आ गए हैं और आगे क्या होगा?
सी आई डोंट थिंक हम फ्रेंड्स मोड में आ गए हैं। आई थिंक हम उस मोड में आ गए हैं जहां हम बोल रहे हैं कि ठीक है वी आर विलिंग टू वर्क टुगेदर। देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बिटवीन सेइंग कि ठीक है वी विल वर्क कॉर्डियली एंड वी आर विलिंग टू वर्क विद यू देन सेइंग कि वी आर बैक इन फ्रेंड्स मोड एंड वी आर विलिंग टू डू ईच अदर्स बैक। मुझे नहीं लगता कि फ्रेंड्स मोड में अभी भी हम आएंगे या हमको बहुत टाइम लगेगा, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से अमेरिका ने बिहेव किया है, डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने बिहेव किया है, आई थिंक देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ ट्रस्ट व्हिच हैज बीन लॉस्ट। एक ट्रस्ट ब्रेक है बहुत बड़ा। उस गैप को जो है क्लोज करना इतना इजी नहीं रहेगा निर्वा। और अभी इट इज जस्ट वर्ड्स। लेट्स सी व्हाट एक्शन डोनाल्ड ट्रंप इज विलिंग टू वॉक। उस पर काफी कुछ निर्भर करेगा कि किस टाइप का रिलेशनशिप अमेरिका जो है वो इंडिया के साथ बनाना चाहता है। अभी भी टैरिफ्स जो है वो 50% पे हैं, वो सेकेंडरी सैंक्शंस उसको बोल रहे हैं। अभी भी आप देखो देर इज नो ट्रेड डील पे कोई बात नहीं हो रही है। तो जब तक आई डोंट थिंक कोई क्लैरिटी आएगी तब तक ये कहना कि हमारी दोस्ती वापस है या हम एक साथ काम करने वाले हैं, वी डोंट नो। सो देखते हैं कि अब अमेरिकन से क्या ऑफर आता है और किस तरीके से ये बात जो है ये आगे चलती है। अगले 2-3 महीने में क्या ट्रेड टॉक्स जो है वो वापस आएंगी, क्या उस पर कोई नेगोशिएशन होगा, क्या कोई फाइनलाइजेशन की बात होगी। तो आई थिंक अभी टाइम है, अभी 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 टाइम लगेगा देखने के लिए कि कहाँ ऊंट किस करवट बैठता है, अभी देखना पड़ेगा।
Right. Before we go on a more serious question, there is one question by Kushal Mehra. He is asking कि why is Kushal Mehra the greatest human ever? इसका जवाब
सॉरी
दीजिए आप before we move on to
सॉरी
the next one. Why is
सॉरी सॉरी
Kushal Mehra the greatest human ever?
व्हाई कुशल मेहरा इज द ग्रेटेस्ट ह्यूमन एवर? इज दैट द क्वेश्चन? Is that what
Yes,
he has asked?
that is Kushal Mehra's question. Yeah, that is Kushal Mehra has asked that
Kushal
question.
Mehra, Kushal Mehra is as great as Melody is so chocolatey. I mean, there is no, they're just great. They're filled with greatness. You don't have to have reasons for them to be great. He's just a great man like Melody is chocolatey. That's how it is.
Right, all right. Okay, one more question I'll have is regarding Pakistan again. You think that it will now try to build a case around the Indus Water Treaty? Because obviously the recent flooding and has happened, and obviously humanitarian count to India will end up being nice because that's what India has done. Do you think now Pakistan will try to build a narrative around the Indus Water Treaty?
See, in this water treaty, Pakistanis definitely are desperate to get it back on track, but India is not going to do that. It's going to be in abeyance. It will stay in abeyance. Yes, India did inform them about flood waters, and I think that is how responsible sovereign nations behave. And India showed its responsibility and its sovereignty by behaving responsibly. But saying that, that doesn't mean that IWT is something which is going to be back on table, or Pakistan is going to get that treaty back. That treaty is not going to go back with Pakistan. That's for sure. Baki, this also breaks the Pakistanis where if you don't give us the data, we have secondary ways of collecting data, and we will be knowing the water level. So well, that exposes Pakistan's lies again. They said that it won't matter if India doesn't, inform them. But at the end of the day, they really, really were dependent. And I think India has shown great statesmanship by informing them at the right time. So innocent lives are not lost in Pakistan. I think that's a great gesture. Given Pakistan's track record, I think we have showed them huge magnanimity here.
Right. Okay, I have two last questions before we can conclude. One question is the recent Trump meltdown, which has been going on since past 2 months. You think that this kind of behavior that is having, it is affecting or rather weakening America's image in Asia, and it is kind of sort of which is leading to India's strengthening image in Asia and making it appear more stable and reliable partner.
No, definitely. Look, the way Americans have behaved, not only in Asia but in the rest of the world, they have really a lot to explain to a lot of their allies. Especially allies, they should have been looking at building and forging a very good relationships, very stable relationship with. But on the end of the day, they have gone about destroying those relationships. And especially in Asia, the way they have behaved. They're trying to sneak Pakistan, steal Pakistan out of China's influence. They have really annoyed India. The way they are going in Bangladesh is not something with neither us nor the Chinese are very happy about. Same is the case in Myanmar. So I think they're playing a very spoiled sport here, and this is going to have an effect. Every country is going to be very, very. Look at what is happening in Indonesia. It's exactly what was happening in Bangladesh, right? They're trying to have a regime change there as well. So I think the Americans are overtly being exposed of their nefarious designs and the way they are trying to bully countries. And I think that is going to have a effect which is going to boomerang on United States in the longer term. In next couple of years, I think America is going to find itself extremely isolated in Asia, not able to meet its strategic needs because countries will not be willing to work with Americans at all.
Right, right. And which is bringing me to my last and final question. Uh, do you think that now, with the recent SEO summit and what is happening in the world, especially with America, India can leverage this momentum India has got, and this leading to the make, paving way for its leadership out in the global south.
Sorry, I didn't get your last part. What was the last part of your question? The voice was cracking up.
Yeah, India using this leverage to become the leader of the global south.
No, absolutely. India already has claim to be the leader of the global south. The way we have, asserted ourselves in the region, irrespective of our relationship, whether with the Chinese. If you remember Galwan, the way we stood up to the Chinese, and then the Chinese had to back off. Right? We have shown that intent, and we definitely have that role to play in the southeast. And given now the way we are trying to stabilize with our relationship with China, it gives us a lot of scope to expand in South Asia. And that actually helps us to cement our foothold as global leaders, as global leaders. So I think yes, that definitely this SEO has given India an opportunity to cement its claim on the global South leader, and we are truly almost there to become one, and we are almost viewed as one as well. If you look at the Western countries, forget America, but if you look at Europe, if you look at Japan, if you look at other countries, Australia, they do look up to India as a global South leader. They do view Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's leadership as a leadership. As he's regarded as a true leader of the region, not of the country. So I think yes, we already are there, and we are going to cement our you know position further.
Okay, I think we are quite done with this. Also, the voice is cracking, so I think we need to fix that as well. Maybe the next time we get it a little better. And on that note, thank you. I'm not sure if I'm clearly audible or not, but I'll say thank you to everyone anyway.
Thank you, and
Thank you
sorry
everyone
once
for
again for
joining.
yeah,
No
and
problem.
I'm
And I
sorry for
hope
being
next time the voice is little fixed.
yes, and sorry for being late
All
once
right.
again. See you next week. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. Bye bye.